do this type of ministry where they're up on the stage and stuff, but they use their personal stories to let you know that they were just like you.
Right.
I still remember the time. So I was
Welcome to the Renegade Relationship Realists with Reverend Marquita Pierre McAllister and Rachel Dilling. Please be advised, this channel is rated R for realism.
Spiritual practitioner. I was a spiritual practitioner, and the minister of our particular center, church or what have you, was becoming ordained.
Okay.
And I was in charge of that whole committee.
Oh, how fun.
Well, it was interesting. It was a lot of work, is what it was.
Yes.
So we did all of that, and so in the cleanup, we're cleaning up, and something went wrong. And I remember it, but I don't remember it. But what I remember is what someone told me after. So in that going wrong, I cursed. I said something really loud and cursed, and then I just kept going. And it was like a couple days later, there was a student, and she said, I decided I'm going to become a licensed practitioner. And I said, well, great. She said, because the other day I saw you go off and curse, and she said, that's when I knew, well, then I can do it too. And I went, ooh, that's just not a good picture.
Bless you. It was perfect because what it did is it made you human.
Well, she had me on a pedestal
until
I did that. And then she realized, oh, wait a
Absolutely.
minute, she's just like me.
Yes.
I can do that. You know, so with that, what can we learn from the people who disappoint us? They fall off of those pedestals. Thank goodness they do. But
Yeah.
what are some things you've learned?
I think that, well, and just this recent one is that my expectations are my standards are my standards. And that imposing those standards on somebody else is really not fair, and it sets people up to lose.
It does.
And so even though I think it's important for me to have standards in my life and say, this is what you need to do to be acceptable, to be part of my world and my circle, that I don't get to say that's the truth for everybody in the world.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is then you get to let go of judgment about someone else because they don't meet your particular personal standard.
Yeah.
That way they come off but until they come off the pedestal, you don't know you have them on a pedestal.
That's true.
So they need to fall so we can wake up. The thing I have a love-hate, I think, relationship with about being a minister is that, because I'm so grateful I fall and make mistakes all the time. And I'm real good for like, oh, yep, mess that up. Oh, oops, honey, I'm so sorry.
You certainly don't take it personally
No.
anymore. That's true.
You know, because I know I'm human.
Yeah.
And there's this hate thing of I can see in their faces, ooh.
Like a disappointment in you.
Yeah, disappointment in me. But I love that because that means you should know, I'm not the one to put up there.
Right.
I'm as human as you. And what you really need to know is so is every minister around.
Also, there is the difference between pedestal and looking up to somebody.
Okay, say more.
So the individual I was talking about earlier who shifted my thought process, I am so grateful that that individual is who and what he is, because it gave me an insight that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And so, and you've done that for me as well. You'll say something, you'll do something, and I'll go, oh my gosh, that's great. And I want to incorporate that in who I am. But that doesn't mean that I have to make you or him
bigger than life,
or not human, or something more spectacular. So I can admire without judgment.
Yes.
And I think that's probably the biggest aha.
Yes. And I would say most of us have mentors in our lives. Let's make sure we're not putting the mentors on a pedestal. That's that thing about looking up to. We want to follow and emulate the things that they do, however they got to whatever success they got to that maybe we don't have right now, but don't put them on a pedestal. They're guaranteed to fall.
Remember I said there were 3 times this last week that this pedestal topic has come up? I just remembered the third one. So I was in a situation where I was having a conversation with somebody that I consider a mentor and that I didn't realize, but I had on a pedestal. And the conversation went a way that I had totally not expected. And this individual, in my mind, got very closed down, shut down, and responded in a way that was totally not my expectation of her. And I got hurt. and I felt not safe with her for a while.
Ah.
Until I realized that, again, I was putting her on a pedestal.
And there we go.
And I wasn't allowing her to have her hurt and her vulnerability and her, well, I guess, hurt, I guess, is her pain. And once I realized that I was depriving her of the right to have her own pain and to react and not be healed by it yet, I was able to soften again. Yeah. And I think so that part of that learning process is I can love this individual, I can honor and respect and learn from them still.
Yes.
And I can still have compassion.
Yeah. And lessen the judgment.
Yes, and lessen the judgment.
I guess to me that's the dangerous piece about putting someone on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. It's actually judgment in reverse, and then when they fall, then we have the regular judgment that we have.
Yeah.
And so we want to let go of that. So how do we learn from people falling on pedestals? We got the, excuse me, look at yourself and recognize that you've put them on a pedestal.
Right.
2, that if they fall, look at your judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Are you judging instead of, like you said, having compassion, allowing them to have their space into what they need to do? And what else?
And
is that the 2 things, 3 things?
I think that, I think that does it. That covers everything.
Great.
Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, go and subscribe to our channel. If you hit the little alarm button, we'll send you updates when new videos come out.
Please be sure to share this information with others so that they have the opportunity to look at themselves and where they're putting people on pedestals and why and how, all of that. And then give us your comments. We'd love to hear what you have to say about putting people on pedestals.
Yes. So it's Wake Up Wednesday. Well, until next time. Bye.
Bye.